Starting to warm up nicely. Threw a log in there. Well, good morning. So, not how I expected to start my day. It is currently 41 degrees outside Fahrenheit, so that's what, 5 degrees Celsius? Yeah, it's a cold one this morning. I actually waited a couple hours so it warmed up a little bit. It's not what I was expecting. So it has actually been about 3 weeks, almost 4, since the last time I actually recorded anything. So, you know, the last video posted on what was going on. I had surgery and everything. Doctor kept me on a strict lifting restriction, so I was not able to do anything at all. So you are current up to date. I mean, it is right after Halloween here as I record this, so I'm hoping that I could get this posted tomorrow, but we'll see. Doing better, lifting restrictions done. I am ready to get back to work. Some of the stuff I need to do, I actually need to move this RV because I need to cut down some trees and everything, and I don't want them to fall on the RV. Not doing that right now. But I do want to work on this gauge cluster. I want to get that, see if I can fix it, or at least get it shipped out to get fixed. That is the only thing keeping me from getting license plates on this, so I could actually use it. But yeah, fire going. As you saw, I got it lit there. It is slowly warming up in here. It's a nice little thermal fan there. No electricity to it, just uses the heat off the stove. Got a little log in there, and it's slowly getting up to temperature. I would just light up the furnace. Come back here. So I replaced the original, let me flip the light on. I replaced the original thermostat with this guy. Worked great. Better reading on my temperature in the RV when I was living in it. But even putting new batteries in it, it's not working. So I think this thing's crapped out on me. So I gotta find the old thermostat. I still kept it just as an emergency because it does not take batteries or anything like that. It's just a little analog one. I think it is in here actually. Flip the light on. Yep, there it is right there. So, as I knock stuff off. So yeah, I got to get that old thermostat back on, so I got to at least run the furnace until I get a new thermostat. Feel like there was something else I was needing to do, but I don't remember what it was. It's a problem when you stop doing things. You forget what your list of tasks are to do. I do know I need to get this stuff cleaned up. I got random stuff everywhere. But, oh, that fan's really going now. So, yeah, let me get the bed frame back here moved, and we'll get this furnace up and going and get it a little warm in here. I could probably open up these curtains, let some sunlight in. That will hopefully heat things up a little bit. So let me put you guys down real quick and we'll get started. Well, if that is reading correctly, it's a little above 60 in here now. Oh no, I know my nose is starting to run. Throw one of those in there. Those are like little starting sticks. I don't think she was getting enough air. Alright. I guess we'll open you all the way and we'll open that back burner all the way. That might help. And I do have a window cracked for fresh air coming in, so it's not using all the oxygen in here. Pretty foggy this morning too, but it looks like that's cleared up. Let me double check this. It's still hooked up from last year, but she's on, plugged in and tight. That one is off. Open you. Yeah, look at that. The leaves are already starting to fall. Nice colors though. See the smoke out of the glorious bright day. You hear the cars in the background though. Oh yeah, you're going good now. Let's flip you on. Once you start beeping, the system is pressurized. Maybe, eventually. Usually it's quicker. That tank might be running a little low. Alright, she's stopped beeping. She's flashing there. She should be good to go. Now, if I squeeze back here again, let's flip you on. And we'll do you right about there. See if you kick on ever. I think you're kicked on already. There it goes. Just had to turn it up higher. Furnace is underneath the stove there. Hearing the clicks. And now I smell it. I think that furnace is running. Nope, not yet. I think it's still trying to ignite. It's probably trying to push all the air out of the rest of the air out of the system. It's been a while since it's been ran. That tank is empty, so I just went out there and tried picking it up. It's really light. So I'd say that's empty. What I was smelling, the propane a minute ago, could have just been what was left in the line. And I'll just have to run up and get some more. Alright, enough rambling on. I'm going to try and get this gauge cluster out. Because if I could fix this, that'll be awesome. If not, I'll send that out for repair. I might have the gauges tested and make sure they're all working properly. So there are, looking at this, I've never actually taken one apart. So there's screws down along the bottom for this black piece, but not up towards the top. There's none up here. And then you can see here there are caps over screws here. So I don't know if the black piece has to come off first or if this gray piece up top has to come off. But we will start with that. I can see the screws down here. That'll probably be the easiest thing to remove at the moment. So let's get started. Let me find my drill. So I don't know if you guys could see that very well with the glare from the sun and everything. But yeah, the smoke clears out once it starts getting up to temperature. It's got 2 burn chambers in it, and it burns a lot cleaner. So what happens is unlock my door here. You got your main burn chamber for your firewood, and then that's a good battery. Your second burn chamber reburns the smoke coming out. So, all right, it's a mess in here. Got the drill, another battery in my arm. Let's head back out to the RV and get this set up. To me, it seems like this side, the driver's side's loose. The passenger side is not. And it seems like it's caught on the stereo. So I guess next step is to work on these here, the gray piece on the top. Fun thing is how easy are these caps going to come off? That's lovely. Okay, put those down there so I don't lose them. I was right. So here, underneath, there's a screw holding that corner in. Now look at that. It's a mess. That steering wheel's making it hard to get around to look at everything. So there's the back of the gauge cluster. Hopefully it'll be an easy pull out, but look at this. Let me turn the light on so you can see it better. Look at that. That carpet's all the way up to the top of that. All this looks good and tight still. That doesn't even have any wires in it, so I don't even know what it's for. I don't even know what this is for. Is that for the CB? Huh. Looks pretty old though. Oh, RV's 30 years old, so of course it looks pretty old. Alright. Let me get that screw out of there. And then maybe I could lean this forward and it'll be easier to see everything. The steering wheel made it hard working around it, but yeah, so there was 2 screws here in the middle support brace, and it still didn't want to slide forward because of all the other connection stuff. But it did loosen it enough to where I get it pulled out. You can see it sitting right there. If we look back here too, see now that that's run at a nice temperature, it's clearing out that glass, which is nice. And I'm actually starting to feel the heat up here. The only downside with fireplaces, it takes a little bit for the heat to radiate out to the whole RV, but once it does, it heats it up pretty nicely. You know, a lot of people say, you know, they suck, and a lot of times they either don't let them run long enough, or they're using them in, you know, really extreme temperatures where that's not going to do enough in a poorly insulated vehicle. But a day like today, 40s, 50s, it's going to heat this up real nice. Even when I was living in here, days it was down to 10, I was running that when I was here, and the furnace as a backup, and that furnace never kicked on except for maybe once or twice. But yeah, it works pretty good. So let me get this unplugged and we'll pull it towards me so we can get a better look. All right, there she is. So this is not attached anymore. You can see a better view of the gauges there. I was really hoping, hold on, let me actually, way I'm not screwing up those needles when I flip this over. I was really hoping, you know, one of these connections were corroded. Those all look good. So I will say it's got to be the component itself is bad. And if you also look here, these where you change all your light bulbs if you ever have a light bulb burnt out. So they just twist. Actually, I can't get my hand in that one very well. Twist, out they pop. Good way to change out to LEDs too if you're wanting to do that. All right, I folded the table out. I want to take this off and see if I could see, make sure nothing's loose in here. And there's something behind me falling down. Now I can see a little better in there. It doesn't look like anything is loose, burnt out. And keep in mind that it could be behind that right there. And what is bad, but as far as I could tell, nothing else looks burnt out on it. And looking up here, it'll focus. All those look good. I don't see any chewed wires or anything like that. Oh. I really need to clean this up so I can have more room. Oh. Trying to step over stuff is a pain. But yeah, so still a little stumped. There's no bad connections I see on here either. So it could just be, you know, underneath here that could be bad. The screen itself could have gone bad. It's hard to say. I originally thought there's a glass piece that sits over that. I thought that slid down because whenever, or came unstuck from it, when you push down on it, you could see the mileage, but yeah, it doesn't appear to be that way, so it's probably a bad connection in there or something, who knows. But I'm gonna have to send that out. Alright, so with the lovely mess behind me, I'm gonna call it here good for this video. I got this pulled out, looked it over. I'm not seeing any issues with it, but I've never dealt with gauge clusters before, so I don't really know what I'm looking for, and not ashamed to admit that. If it's something you could fix, fix it. If you're unsure, don't know what you're doing, send it out. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to send it back to the manufacturer. I don't remember the name off the top of my head at the moment, but I will be sure that I will put it down in the description. If I could pin a top comment or something with a link to their website, I will. But I have called them. I told them, you know, the Motorhome and everything, and they're like, yeah, we did those, and they said send it in and they'll fix it. So hopefully I get it back quickly. It's hard to say, but kind of curious too if they can update that, but I don't know. So yeah, I'll get that figured out, get it shipped out. But I guess for the time being, I am enjoying the fireplace at the moment. I wish the one in the house was working, but I got to fix the damper in it before I could fire up the one in the house. But I'm going to call it good for the day and see you guys in the next video.